There's still wads of wires hanging out, but I've got lights working and I've got instruments. Welcome to Hacko Week. Let's dive into some of this wiring now. The neutral light comes on because the neutral switch goes to ground. That's right back here. This is the gear shift position harness. This is that switch that shows me all the gear positions when it's on that digital setup that I took off. But I'm not using that anymore. Now I'm using just the switches only. So this is the one that goes to the neutral switch. If I turn the key on right now, I can't start the bike, but if I touch this wire to the neutral switch and it's in neutral, then the bike will start. Also, if I pull the clutch in, the bike will start. So I need to run a wire from these two connected together up toward the front, and that will turn on the neutral light when it's in neutral. This is why I wanted the big headlight bucket, because there's a lot of wiring that's got to cram in there on this here Honda. So there's room now for all that wiring to go inside the bucket and the headlight to still go in there. And now I can finish up connecting all this other stuff. The signal lights can connect right in where the other ones used to, and then I'll get to all this stuff up here. I still need to run that neutral wire light up to the instrument cluster, but right now I'm focusing on just getting all this stuff tidied up first. Okay, everything's hooked up. I've got a big old halogen bulb stuck in here in H4. I don't think I'm going to keep that because it doesn't quite fit into the Lucas socket, but it's just for test purposes. At any rate, let's turn it on. I've got on low beam now, high beam, low beam, high beam. Okay, so that works. Got the horn temporarily connected up. I don't think I'm going to mount it there, and I'll probably just keep one horn and stick it somewhere out of the way. That works okay. Let's check the signal lights. And of course they're flashing fast because I don't have the back ones. There's the indicator that'll go up in the instrument cluster. There's the left turn and the indicator. So that's all good. That wiring's taken care of. Now all I have left is the instrument cluster. Well, after a little Google searching, I found a wiring diagram for an 8586 1100cc Magna, which is the same as this VF700S, and the reason I can tell that is because of this little detail right here. It's got that digital readout instrument cluster with the gear positions and the digital readout temperature sensor, which I'm not that fond of, and that's why I'm switching all that out. But anyway, here's all the wiring and color codes that I have on this bike. And that instrument cluster is from a 94 CBR 900RR, a Fireblade. I found this wiring diagram on fireblades.org, and it's got everything I need, mostly right here. The stuff for the tachometer and all the lights. So I can just quickly reference this for the color codes and connect them up to my existing wiring. This should be the tachometer wire. It doesn't match up to the wiring diagram color-wise, but it's not too uncommon. Sometimes they make changes through mid-year, whatever. So let's try starting it up, see what we get. Well, it's reading full load right now, 13,000. That doesn't seem right. Come on, baby, fire up. I have the tachometer working, but I had to take the actual tachometer dial and connect it to the old VF700S driver board because it works differently than the 94 CBR. The CBR was just shorting out the ignition and not allowing it to work right, and I'm pretty sure the board was okay. I thought it might have had a bad transistor. I changed it out and it still didn't make any difference. So now I need to try to cram this into the instrument cluster somehow. I don't know, maybe I can put it behind it, whatever. I've got room for the gauge, no problem. I just need to figure out how to get that board in. The other one was about half that size. But the tack works okay, and I did synchronize it with a RPM meter that I have, a digital one. I hooked it up and I got them synced okay, and I did that by adjusting that little trim pot right there, the little one that says 203 on it. I turned that until I got it dialed right in, so it's close enough. Okay, I think I got the tack happening now. Let's check it out. All right. Now it's all down to wrapping up this wire in some wire loom, making it look good, paint the top of this black, paint the mount for this black, and maybe make something to cover this up on the front. The paint is done on the back of the headlight bucket. I took care of that. That's all painted now. I actually flat blacked out all the areas on the back of the instrument cluster. Just a little less reflectivity, a little more industrial looking. Over here I've got everything blacked out for the mounts that it goes on, screws included, and I'm going to get all that put back together now and get the instruments mounted up here. I need to tape up this whole harness right here, all these bare wires. I got to wrap that up and loom it up, make it look nice. Okay, that's that. Well, that's mounted back up. The flat black kind of helps a little bit with some of that bullshit that's all around here. So I think I'll try to put a piece of sheet metal across here of some sort. Well, this stuff might help a little bit. This is some more 3M crap that I got somewhere. Scotch number 467. It's basically sticky back brushed aluminum used for countertops and such. I had some of that laying around that I salvaged from someplace. And I've got it pretty much well formed for the back of there. Alright, I've got a coat of flat black on that, and while that's drying, let's take a look back here at the rear of the bike. I've got this plastic fender left over, and I'm thinking I can probably put this tail light that I've got off, I don't know what bike. I salvaged this from some bike parts where I work. The guy I work for used to own a dealership. The dealership went out of business, so there's all kinds of bike parts to salvage around the shop, which is way cool. I'm thinking I can stuff this up underneath here somehow, but I really need to get this plastic fender out of the way, so I think I'm going to take the Sawzall and just cut it off straight across here, right at these points, and I'll mount the signal lights in there. Well, that was pretty easy. You know, now I'm thinking I'm just going to lose this rear fender altogether. Yeah. Let's see what it's going to take to pry that off. So it just kind of pops in there. The only thing that it's has mounted to it are a couple of items. Let's see, we got some wire harnesses. Those are easy enough to take off. There's the ignition box. That's off already. And we can relocate that somewhere else. And what else? I think that's the signal flasher. Yeah, there we go. That's gone. Oh, I like that better already. While I'm at it, I think I'll take out the toolbox area and also move the fuse box and the rectifier to another location. Okay, toolbox area. What do we got? Got a fuse box mounted to that. Let's see if we can get the fuse box loose. Just a couple of screws, I think, and that'll come off. All this stuff could potentially go up under the seat, so that takes care of that. Let's see, that tube. That's the tube for the coolant overflow. Let's just get that the hell out of the way. And what else we got here? We've got the rectifier here that mounts to the top of this thing. And there's another box underneath it. And it looks as though it just sort of clips into place there somehow. Well, let's get the toolbox bolt out. There's only one bolt that holds it in. The 10mm head bolt right here. Take that sucker off. And let's see what we got. Out it comes. And indeed, there's the rectifier. And what else is under there? Some other box. And there's another wire connector. We can get that out of the way. Ah, okay. It just kind of flips up like that. Oh, that must be the other, that's the other ignition module. There are two of them. So that's held down with a couple of bolts, it looks like. So we can just take those off. Oh my God, those are tight. We can mount all this stuff somewhere else. More crap out of the way. Fuse box, all that. That can all go up in here somewhere. Let's see, the rectifier. Not sure exactly yet where I'll move that to, but it doesn't look like it's too difficult of a task to relocate that. Maybe right here someplace I can put a plate across the frame. The possibilities are endless. So let's see. Let's just put the cover back on this for now. Let that sit off to the side. And get this up here. Now I got a coolant overflow reservoir, the reserve reservoir that was here, that plastic one that's all broken, but I've got a pretty cool substitute for that. Let me show you. So I started out riding a 80cc Yamaha, a little kind of a trail bike. I forgot the model, but anyway, everybody called it my rice burner. And then later I got a RD350, got called a rice burner, and then eventually a CB750F. Everybody called that my rice burner. So this is a rice burner, I guess. You know, those American buyers like to call them rice burners for whatever reason. But if you're gonna have rice, you gotta have soy sauce. So this is my coolant reservoir for the overflow. Kikkoman soy sauce. Very fitting for my rice burner. It's really handy. It's got a nice little plastic cap that I can just pop off and back on. And I can put the hose in there and a tube to the bottom, and it's just the right size to squeeze in there. And I think by the time I get the seat on, it's not going to interfere with my leg. And it's a pretty cool addition to the bike. I'll just have to figure out a way to strap it in there somehow, maybe make a little mount for it, but I think it's pretty cool. All this crap now has to mount somewhere else because of my little mod I just did here. But there is some room in this area. Maybe I can stuff it all in there. I don't know. I'll work that out a little bit later. These don't need to be there anymore, these brackets. So I think I'll cut those off with the Sawzall. And then I can mount my signal lights right here on this hole. I'll have to drill it out a little bit bigger. And the wires for the signal lights are right here. So let's go ahead and hack those off. Okay, that's drilled out. Let's mount up a signal light on the back. The signal lights are bolted in place. This is just sitting here right now, which is not such a bad mounting place for it. It'll probably end up right about there. Something like that. Turn the key on and see what we got. Alright, we've got a tail light. Let's check the brake light. We got a brake light with the front brake. Brake light with the back brake. Let's check right turn. Ah, what happened? Left turn, right turn. Oh, we lost a wire. That's what happened. There we go. We got a right turn. We got a left turn. So the wiring's all okay on that. Well, there's that piece in place now. You know, I really don't know if I like it or not. I'm going to have to study on that for a while before I decide if I want to keep it. I don't know. You can tell me in the comments what you think, if it looks a little better or not. I kind of really like it without it on there. I like the ratty look myself. It's just real industrial. This whole bike is all about that. It's all about just getting it back to the basic elements of the bike. So I may just leave that alone. Alright, I've got lights working. I've got instrument cluster mounted and everything's working there, and well, you know, I think I'm going to leave it like it is. I don't think I'm going to put that thing on the front of it. I like it ratty. The whole thing's kind of a cafe rat bike anyway. Not sure what I'm going to do with the battery yet. I may come up with some fun enclosure, kind of like that soy sauce can, only maybe over on this side. I don't know, maybe find a rice bag and put it around there so I got rice and soy sauce. Whatever, I don't know. I got some work done on the tank this week. A little bit more fiberglass went on there. The whole thing's essentially covered now in glass. I'm adding a layer about every other day, letting it cure up pretty good in between. I've got to order some more resin pretty soon because I made a mistake early on in the build and mixed it wrong and wasted a whole bunch of it. So anyway, that's how things go. Even if you're experienced, you still make a few mistakes now and then. So tune in next week. There'll be more. Till next time. Oops.